rises in the morning and the sun shines in her eyes. Beautiful and young, her love has no disguise. The summer when we met and she asked me to stay the night. Now I didn't refuse, that would be impolite. Oh, you and I are past the passage of time, and love is in our hearts. Love is in all our hearts. Love is in our hearts. Now I see her from afar and all worries drop out of sight. And living without her makes pettiness seem my life. And if I could go back, I'd surely make things right. It might just save me this cold and lonely night. Oh, you and I are past the passage of time, and love is in our hearts. Love is in all our hearts. Love is in our hearts. Oh, you and I are past the passage of time. It stops when we find we've nothing left to hide. When my days are at an end, I won't forget you. I'll search the sky and I promise that I'll find you. Oh, and love is in our hearts. Love is in all our hearts. Oh, love is in our hearts. Love is in all our hearts. Oh, love is in our hearts. Love is in all our hearts.
Michael Hanrahan, folks. Yes. So when was the first time you remember seeing someone perform music and saying, wow, I want to do that when I grow up?
Oh, probably when I was 10 or 11 years old, and it's probably into the Arts and Culture Centre with my mom and dad. It might have been, I think I remember Leona Boy, the classical guitar player, me being a little bit younger than you. Is that a take? A little bit older than you maybe. Or watching them play, and that's probably what the first experience I had with watching live music play.
Now, Mike, when did you first get into performing music?
Probably when I was around 15, around there. When I started playing down at Sessions downtown, and down at Aaron's Pub, and sometimes O'Reilly's and Ship In. We used to go, and I wasn't actually old enough to be in there at the time. But if I was playing music, they let me in. That was kind of the unwritten rule.
Now, I know you have 2 albums out right now, but I hear you are working on a 3rd one. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I'm working on another one now with Kayla Mahoney and Justin Mertzoy, and that'll probably be out hopefully for the summer. I've been kind of working on it for a couple of years, but a lot of my own stuff, a lot of my own ideas, but I just started it before Christmas, so I'm hoping to have it done probably in May sometime.
Now, I was reading that when you were not doing shows or working on albums that you kind of fix up people's old guitars.
I do, yeah. I've been doing that for a few years now. I always was kind of interested in it. And I went and did some schooling there a few years ago in Halifax, did a course. And now I do a fair bit of that now, guitars and mandolins, any stringed instrument, fretted instrument.
Now, I was also reading that you are in a band currently called Connemara. Is that how you pronounce it?
Connemara, yeah, that's right.
So could you tell us a bit about that?
Well, that's myself and Glenn Hiscock and Paul Hiscock, and I've been playing with those guys for a good while now, probably 13 or 14 years at least. And we play all over the place. We play a bit downtown, and we play some stuff in the summer away. And we play. It's a three-piece band. Paul plays bass, and Glenn plays mandolin, fiddle, and sings, and I play guitar and sing.
So, with all these songs you write, where do you get the inspiration for these songs? Is it as simple as overhearing a conversation, or does it come from real life experiences like seeing a dancing chicken?
A little bit of both. A lot of it's real experience. A lot of it is kind of I know it's by insightfulness, I guess. I write a lot of songs in the winter time too, when it's not quite as busy. It tends to happen. Don't write a lot during the summer because I tend to be busier. But I think it's a little bit of both. A little bit from observing people in their relationships and situations, and thinking about my own situation. I write a little bit about that as well. So it's a little bit of both.
Was your family musical growing up?
I would say yes. My father played a bit of guitar, and my brother played a bit of trumpet. He doesn't now anymore, and I started playing flute actually, and then I traded the flute in for a guitar. But and on my other side of the family, some of them play. My grandmother played a bit of harmonica and a bit of accordion. So I'd say a little, this average amount, because a lot of people in Newfoundland have a lot of that in their families.
Okay, Michael, now for my favorite part of the show, we have to take a selfie. I will go get the selfie stick. Oh, it's heavy. Oh, okay. Perfect. Now, Michael, how can people get in touch with you if they wanted to book you for a performance, if they want their guitar fixed, that kind of thing?
You can just go to my Facebook page, Michael Hanrahan. That's the easiest way. Or you can go to my website, is michaelhanrahan, one word, .ca.
Okay, well, thanks for coming in today, Michael.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the interview desk. Now, up next, folks, is a woman whose name can be regularly seen in the Telegram newspaper, and you may also recognize her from the Bell TV show In Conversation. It is my pleasure to introduce Miss Tara Bradbury. Hello, Tara.
Hello, Gary. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's nice to see you again.
Well, thanks for coming in today to chat with us.
Thanks for having me.
So can you give us a short bio of yourself, like where you grew up and went to school?
Well, I grew up in St. John's, and I went to school here, and then I went to university in Montreal at Concordia University. That's where I did journalism. And then after that, I moved around the world, really, before I came back home. I was in Brazil, and I was in the UK, and I was in Switzerland working for the UN for a little bit. And I've been at the Telegram for 14 years.
So as I mentioned in your introduction, you do write for the Telegram. Could you bring us through your normal daily routine at the Telegram?
At the Telegram? Well, usually we'll have a story meeting, I guess, in the morning where all the reporters get together and we talk about what we're working on for that day, and we pitch ideas to the editor, that kind of thing. And then the rest of the day is tracking the story, and then sometimes breaking news will happen, and then I'll have to leave one thing and go for something else, and that's it. And then by 5 o'clock, I've got to file. We have to file all the stories. They have to be done. So we have deadlines, and we have to work on them. I have to meet them.
When you go out to do an interview with someone for the article you may be writing, so what kind of stuff would you bring of equipment?
Equipment? Well, I bring a notebook and a pen, which some people don't. I mean, I guess that's old school now to bring pens and stuff. You don't have a pen, I see, when you do your interviews.
No,
No, you don't.
The cameras.
That's right. And I bring a recorder, like a digital recorder. Sometimes I use my phone, and I bring my camera. Sometimes video camera.
So now let's talk about your show on Bell. When and how did In Conversation start?
It started before me, so it was a show that that producer Tristram Clark started a couple of years ago, and there was a host before me, Roger Bill, and so I've been there for probably about a year and a half now. They asked me to come in and do some hosting, and then I've been doing it ever since.
So who are some of the people you've had on your show?
Probably some of the same people you've had on your show, I guess. Let's see. We've had Sean McCann. Mark Critch has been on. I know he's been on with you. Who did we have?
I know you've had Zach Werner.
We've had
him on the show.
We've had Zach Werner, yeah, who is a friend of mine. I know he's been on your show. We've had Mike Rowe, who plays, he played Deadshot in Arrow. He's like an action hero kind of guy, comic hero. Megan Coles, who's a Winterset winner, a writer. We've had lots of people. We've had Nikki Payne was the most recent one. She's a really funny comedian. So it's been really good, really interesting.
So how much time does it take to produce an episode of the show?
Of the show? Well, Tristy kind of does the producing, Tristy Clark. So I just kind of have a hand in finding the guests and lining them up and doing the interview. But he takes care of all the post-production stuff. So I don't know, I guess that could take a couple weeks, but I just line it up and do the hosting. It just takes a couple of hours for me.
Yeah. Now back to the Telegram. Is it hard to narrow down all the information you get from your interviews into a one-page article, say?
Yes, and that is a very smart question, and I think you know that probably only because you're an interviewer yourself. The hardest part about being a writer for the doing the news is not the writing, it's the editing, like deciding what you're going to leave out, right? That is hard.
Yes, because we have a hard time here at NL now too, because there's a lot of funny stuff that happens in the interviews, but because of time we have to just cut it up.
That's true.
Because like when we had Mark on the show, he kept fooling up in the game. He couldn't get the game right, but...
And he talks and talks and talks and talks, and he doesn't turn off, right? He's hard to interview for the paper as well. It's not you, Gary, it's Mark.
How much has technology changed since you started out?
It's changed a lot, because when I started, the Telegram had a website, but it wasn't really our priority. Like when I was writing stories, it was for the printed paper the next day. But now, most people are getting their news online, so my deadlines got a lot quicker. So when I go out, if something is breaking, like if I'm at, like some kind of police event, or I'm covering court that day, I've got to write it, and I use my phone, and I file it to the editor, and he pops it up online right away. So that's different, And also I use video now, which I never had to do before as a newspaper journalist, right?
How hard do you think it will be to do your job right now without all the modern day technology?
I don't even know how people did it before. You know that they used to do it when they had like film and cameras. I don't know how newspapers could even print when the photographers would have to shoot and come back and develop it and decide. And anyway, I think definitely technology has made it a lot easier, but more work too.
What would you say has been one of the most exciting things you have reported on?
Exciting? That is a really hard question, you know that? I don't think I could pick, Gary, because I've done so much. I'm just really excited to be able to share all the, stories of the creative and brave and innovative and smart people in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Now, if you had one piece of advice to give our current government today, what would that be?
I would say listen to the people. That would be my advice. Listen to the people.
Okay, Tara, now we are going to play a little game called Get to Know Me.
All right.
I will ask you 6 questions, and you'll come back with the first thing that pops into your head.
Okay. All right.
Favorite food?
Oh, Caesar salad.
Favorite thing about your job?
the writing, the creativity.
Favorite song to sing out loud to when you're alone in the car?
Oh my goodness. Can I come back to that?
Yes.
Okay.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? The Princess Bride.
And who would play you in a movie?
Who would play? Who would I want to play me, or who would probably end up picking me?
Play you in a
Oh,
movie?
someone really how about Sofia Vergara? We'll pick her.
And back to the question you skipped. Your favorite song to sing out loud to when you're alone in the car?
I sing, what could I sing? I like anything by Sia, that's good for driving in the car, but on the other side I like Leonard Cohen as well. I know all those words too.
That was great. Now for my favorite part of the show, we have to take a selfie. So
All
grab
right.
the selfie stick there.
Okay, this one.
Yep.
Ready? All right, Gary, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. Well, that was great. Thanks for coming in tonight,
Thanks
Sarah.
for having me. I'm happy to be here.
We are going to take a short break, but stay right there. Hello, folks, and welcome back to NL Now. Joining us today in the interview chair is a voice I'm sure many of you have heard on Mom Radio, CHMR. Please welcome Miss Jill Power. Hello, Jill. Thanks for coming in to chat with us today.
Hi, Mary. Thanks for having me.
So how are things over at CHMR Radio?
Things are going good. We've got a lot of new people hosting shows this semester, lots of cool guests coming in, and lots of exciting things happening. So it's a great spot for sure.
So is broadcasting in either radio or television something you want to pursue as a career when you get out of school?
Absolutely. And it's funny because when I first went to MUN 2 years ago, I'd planned on being a teacher. I wanted to do education. And I kind of stumbled upon CHMR and got involved with that, and it kind of completely shifted my career goals. And that's something I'd like to go into now, I think.
Now I have to ask you, on your Twitter account in your description, you say that you are a sushi eater, Disney lover, downhill skier, and the A&W poster child. So how does one become an A&W poster child?
Well, for me, it happened completely by accident, which was funny. I was walking downtown in May with a friend of mine. It was on a Saturday. And this woman came up to us and she was like, would you guys like to be in an A&W commercial? And I said yes, but my friend couldn't do it because she was gluten intolerant. But I'm definitely not gluten intolerant, so I did it and I ate the burger and I just chatted about it with the A&W guy. And it was fun, they said, we'll contact you if we decide to use your clip. And that was that. But it was kind of funny, actually, because I worked in a souvenir store at the airport at that time. And that following Monday, I was working, and my other coworker was coming in the afternoon to cover a shift. And so we had a bit of an overlap, and we were talking about our weekends and what happened. I was telling her about my A&W commercial. And this customer comes up, and I'm like ringing in his stuff. I kind of looked up quickly, but I didn't really pay too much attention to what they looked like. And they were like, oh, you did some acting over the weekend. And I was like, yeah, I was in an A&W commercial, told him about that. After that, he was like, oh, that sounds cool. Was the A&W guy nice? And I was like, yeah, he was a pretty cool guy. Looked up, who's standing there but the A&W guy? So that was pretty awkward. But it was a fun time for sure. And then about 2 months later, they contacted me and wanted me to be in the commercial. So it was a good time for sure.
How does MUN Radio work? Is it all run by students?
For the most part, yeah, most of us are students, but anyone in the community can do a show. So they pay an annual fee of $20, I think it is, and then they can go on and do whatever show. It's a cool place because if you have an idea for a show, they'll take you in, they'll teach you how to use the equipment and things like that. So they're very welcoming there for sure.
Now, what are some of your favorite music artists to listen to? Who are some of your favorite artists?
Some of my favorite artists, in my playlist, there's everything from opera music to indie rock. So it's a very diverse playlist for sure. But some of my favorite artists, I love Lights. I love some independent artists like Donovan Woods and people like that. And of course, local artists like The Once and The Fortunate Ones and Kat McLeavy. All those guys are pretty cool. So.
We've actually had The Once and The Fortunate Ones on our show before, so.
Cool. I'm sitting in the same chair as The Ones. Super cool.
What do you think Newfoundland and Labrador has that it makes us unique when it comes to music and the arts?
When it comes to music, we have our very own genre. We have our own type of music that we listen to and that we produce as well. And, you know, there's a lot of great artists that come out of here, like Alan Doyle, Fortunate Ones, the ones like I mentioned. But, you know, they get a lot of attention nationwide as well. And there's also a lot of younger artists, you know, some of whom I go to school with, who produce great music as well. We've got a very rich culture in music. There's a lot of folk songs that are passed down through generations and families and things like that. And I really just hope it continues, because we've really got a culture here like no other when it comes to music.
Okay, now we're going to play a little game called Get to Know Me. I'll ask you 5 questions and you'll come back with the first thing that pops into your head.
Okay.
Okay, favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite food?
Sushi.
Favorite TV show?
I've been watching a lot of Buffy on Netflix recently. A friend of mine recommended it and now I'm hooked. So
Favorite movie?
I don't really have one. I like a lot of Disney movies.
And a song you sing out loud to when you're alone in the car?
Oh, me and my mom love to sing along to Repartee's music. We like to sing Dukes a lot. So
Okay, now it's selfie time.
Selfie time,
Grab
cool.
the selfie stick.
All right, let's do it. All right. 1, 2, 3. Cool.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Well, thanks again, Jill, for coming in. It was great to meet you.
Well, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
I'd like to thank everyone we've had on this evening. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to close out the show with one more song, Michael Hanrahan. Take it away, Mike.
It doesn't matter who is wrong or right, who is on whose side. Don't invent scenarios, it'll make you lose your mind. I'm embarrassed to think that I still might care. Wisdom should have prevailed in this last year, 'cause I'm leaving alone with no salt in my wounds. I'm on my own, it's a free, lonesome tune. It doesn't matter who's wrong or right. Stop worrying, it'll all be fine. You move on with your life, throw the lies into the past, and you lose this aching pride. And I'm leaving alone with no salt in my wounds. I'm on my own, it's a free, lonesome tune. It doesn't matter who is wrong